for there, but they do have to get there first.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like our runners have readied up, so we'll be going very, very shortly here.
Hey. Zugman
looked like he picked two players there. Yeah, I saw Luigi.
This could get interesting. I saw Luigi.
Yeah, I don't know if he knows just yet. You might just have to do a quick reset to turn that off. You don't want to be running in two-player.
Yeah, you don't want two-player. Zugman's not sure what to do.
Okay, so there we go. He just resets. Alright, so now he's back on one player, so Call's going to have a little bit of an early advantage due to that, obviously. But nothing insurmountable, for sure.
Like, we have the Luigi fans in chat here.
Listen, Luigi's my boy, but we can't use him in this game, unfortunately. But when Zugman taking a death in 1-1 doesn't quite get up to those clouds like the normal strat, and has a little trouble recovering. Meanwhile, the Call grabbing the tail while keeping P-Speed, flying up to where that whistle is that we all learned about in the Wizard. This is the warpless category, meaning that you can't use any warp whistles or the wrong warp in 7-1. But that is the fastest way to beat that stage. So that whistle is just going to sit in that inventory, hopefully not killing anybody's run for the entirety of the race.
Yeah, we don't want to see more resets later on.
Yeah, there are provisions in place for the tournament races if you do happen to accidentally whistle, but most of them involving losing quite a lot of time, so it's something you just want to, above anything, avoid.
Zugman settling in for 1-2. Getting back on his feet here into the fortress. His Call takes out that hammer bro. Going into 1-6. Let's look for that Superman jump.
Very nice there from the Call. Ooh, tiny little turn back there to avoid going too far, but does make it
alright. That's alright.
Meanwhile, Zug picking up the whistle as well. So you saw the Call take a damage right away in the beginning of 1-5. You'll see Zug do it as well here. The reason for that is that in Mario 3, the tail is not very good for going fast. If you jump in the air at any time with the tail, you'll start immediately losing some horizontal momentum. And if you have P-Speed and jump with the tail, the game will start a timer. That once that timer runs out, you just immediately lose your P-Speed. That way you can't fly everywhere like you could with like a P-Wing or something like that. So in general, since we want to go fast, we want to keep that P-meter full at all times. You'll see runners losing a tail basically immediately once they don't need it. Unless we're going to be flying for something, we're going to try to stay with either Fire Mario, Big Mario, Small Mario, that kind of thing. So you see a very nice Superman from Zugman as well.
Zugman going to pick up just a little bit of time in 1-6.
Yeah, I mean those little tiny things can add up. Like just having a few less turnbacks, having cleaner movement. It doesn't seem like much, but it really does add up. That's one of the things you kind of see from runners of different skill levels is how confident they are with different stages and whatnot. You can see a lot of time picked up. We got a 339 wand grab for Call there after World 1. Pretty solid World 1. Yeah, to answer the question in chat, the Call has a better PB by a little less than 2 minutes. But they're both pretty solid runners, so this could be a pretty good race.
Zugman starting this journey across Larry's airship. Hooray for auto-scrollers. Call going into 2-1. I like the P-Speed strats for 2-1. I think, like you were saying before, you do need to like step every now and again to keep P-Speed, so you can't just bounce on these micro Goombas the whole way. Nice.
Yeah, very nice there. That P-Speed, the build-up is kind of awkward to do, as you are basically running into a wall and then keeping your P-Speed, which seems a little counterintuitive. And then there's some interesting jumps in the first half of the stage, basically, to keep it going, but nicely done there by Call. And we see Zugman going for a fire kill. Unfortunately, gets just a kind of a bad hitbox there from Larry, and a couple of the fireballs just go straight through him. Koopa Kid hitboxes are really weird in this game. I mean, all the hitboxes are weird in this game, but Koopa
hitboxes allegedly exist in this game.
But Koopa Kid hitboxes are only their heads, so it's actually very easy if you're going for a fire kill. That if the ball is just kind of on its way down from its bounce, it can just go right underneath the hitbox and go past it. So kind of tricky. You can see the call moving into 2F now. Looking like very nice early P-speed build there. Oh, loses it, but should. Oh,
getting it
got
at
it
all
bad for a
helps
second,
out.
but yeah, that's true. Any running is good. Good recovery there. That's a tricky movement to do to get your P-speed back that quickly in the second room. So nicely done there. As we see Zugman taking a hit into 1, losing his fire.
Not gonna be able to get the fire kill on Boom Boom there. Little bits and pieces of time here and there. Honestly, fire kills, it does save, what, like 5 seconds per Boom Boom?
It's something like 3 to 5. I'm not exactly sure what it is anymore. But it's a fair amount, for sure.
I would definitely say that, like, the movement, I feel like, through all these levels outweighs that by a lot. But, you know, like we said, he has quite the deficit moving in. He needs every little bit he can get. Nice 2-3. And he gets the quick pipe entry. Mr. Dino's asking out there in chat about the Hammer Brother identification.
Yeah, I guess we haven't talked about that yet. There's 2 Hammer Bros here in World 2. One of them has a music box, which isn't very useful. The other one has a hammer, which is very useful. Since this is warpless, we're allowed to skip stages as long as we don't warp to do so. So using the hammer to skip over stages is very important. And actually in World 2, there's a possibility you can get that hammer early enough that instead of using it in World 4 to skip over 1 fort, you can use it here in World 2 to skip over 2 or 3 different stages. But it's pretty rare, so it doesn't happen a whole lot. But there's actually a bit of research being done to maybe manipulate that hammer to come over a little more often than right now. It's like a 1 to 2% chance that it'll just happen. People are working on right now maybe finding some sort of consistent way to get it to come over more often. I don't think there's been any like absolutely like consistent this will work just yet, but it's pretty close. Pretty crazy. I know Mitch is involved with that. There's a couple of taskers working on it too. So there's a lot of research going into it right now to see if there's some way we can make that early hammer maybe a little more consistent.
Zugman, no!
Zugman takes a death at the end
a
of
little
2-3.
early. He's going to have to play the whole stage again. No power-ups this time, so he might just take it safe at the end of the stage. Call, meanwhile, making his way through this pyramid level. Even with all these brick walls in the way, faster not to go through this with a tail. Very nice there, getting that Buzzy Beetle at the end to break through there.
Yeah, Pyramid's a very technical stage. One of the more technical stages early on in the run, so it's pretty good job there from Call to get through it quickly. Another thing to mention, I think this is where you were originally leading with that question. We recently found out maybe a few months ago that the Hammer Bros, once they stop their movements, they face certain ways. And that's used to kind of tell which Hammer Bro is which. Because a lot of times in World 2, you can see the music box right away, but it'll maybe run to the right side of the screen. We can't see it, so we don't know exactly where it is. But somebody found out.
That, but then, yeah, you don't want to fight both of them if you can avoid it.
Right. And then somebody found out, oh, hey, I think originally it was found in World 6, but in World 2, for example, oh, hey, the hammer actually faces to the left once they're done moving, and the music box faces to the right. So we use that in order to kind of tell which Hammer Bro we need, which one we don't want. And Zugman takes a death in 2-5 there, unfortunately.
Getting P-Speed in 2.5 can be a little scary. There's a lot of enemies off-screen that you don't necessarily see as you start jumping. And just those Goombas, you know, Nintendo knew what they were doing when they put them there. Getting right in the way of those long jumps.
So it looked like Zugman was just planning on doing 2.5 the whole time, so he is going to pick up that music box. Nothing he can do too much about it with that route. 2-4 is technically a little slightly faster than 2-5 to do, but it is much more difficult. So a lot of newer runners will just opt to just do 2-5 and kind of deal with whatever Hammer Bro luck they get. Zugman's going to lose a little bit of time here, but potentially in World 5, if he gets a bit of good luck, he can skip the music box in that world, and that'll kind of erase most of that deficit that he'll have from getting this extra bro in World 2.
Very true.
I didn't see exactly what the one grab time was for Call on World 2. Pretty close to around 10 minutes, so not too shabby.
Yep. So Call now, World 3 here. We'll get this water level first. It's just a water level, just go over the top. Do want to mention, because we're talking about Hammer Brothers, the World 3 bros and the bridges and all that fun stuff. Because there are those bridges out here in World 3. After every level, after every Hammer Brother, they're going to switch whether it's up or down, whether or not you can cross them. And if one of the Hammer Brothers runs away, he's going to have a decision to make, whether he wants to kind of fight one and take a death, or just kind of go on and try to ignore both Hammer Brothers. So we're looking to kind of be able to see both of these Hammer Brothers the whole time, as long as we can anyway. Is this the 3-2 P-Speed strat, or...? Either way, we didn't quite get it.
Oh, and Call was swimming under the Cheep, swims a little too far, hits the death plane. So this is going to change things. As you mentioned, it changes every time Mario's done with the stage, so deaths are included with that. Yes. And now the bridges aren't going to be set up exactly right if Call finishes the rest of these stages and fights both the bros. So this is going to be kind of interesting to see how he decides to route this. One of the bros is a hammer, which obviously we want. The other one's a star, which could be skipped. So that might be what Call tries to do here, is just to skip the star. It's going to be interesting to see here.
I believe the hammer is basically always the one that starts south of the fort.
Yeah, the hammer is usually the one you'll fight more often than not. The star is the one that more often than not would run away.
Oh, hitboxes.
I'm not sure if that was a missed jump input or if the Call just decided to take a death there.
Could be either.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it could have been either there. I'm not entirely sure, but
I feel like it was a missed jump input. But yeah, he would be back on drawbridge pace.
Right.
Zugman getting it probably around 12:20. I didn't see the exact time of that one grab,
like
but
12:21 grab.
Call is giving him some help.
Call right now. But yeah, couple of deaths in World 3. Definitely going to leave Zugman some opportunity to make up some of this time.
Third door?
I don't know, man. I don't know if we'll see it. No third door, unfortunately. So you can actually enter that third door, and you have one frame to basically re-enter the door from the other side before the game realizes that Mario is standing over an open pit and makes him fall. That takes you straight to Boom Boom's room. Saves about 6 seconds if you get it, but it is a pretty hefty time loss if you fail it. I don't remember, 10 to 15 seconds, something like that. So pretty risky strat. Not a lot of people go for it unless they're swagging out in like a race, or they are trying to desperately kill or desperately save a PB attempt.
Call hitting the wrong button there.
That's really scary. That's really scary when you accidentally menu. I've definitely seen it and done it before where you accidentally menu and then you just kind of panic and don't know what to do and just use that whistle because you just don't know what's going on. So accidentally opening up your menu can be really scary. A little trickiness there, getting that fire flower back, but does preserve it. That's very good.
Zugman does reclaim the time that Call left behind in 3-2, so another kind of longer stage, doing it a little cleaner. Doesn't have to stop.
Oh, misses the jump and gets eaten by Boss Bass. Oh, and this is going to be gross now.
Oh no.
So if it takes the death right away. So these Hammer Bros, if they're over top of a water space, there's this little pool of water that starts on the beginning of the stage. And when you're small, you can't just run across it like you normally can. You actually have to swim through it. So those water bros are really, really nasty. Fortunately, that puts Zugman back in the right spot as we see the call making his way through 3-8, which is kind of the whole reason we've been adjusting these bridges is to cloud over 3-6, which is an auto-scroller goes straight to 3-8, skip most of the second half of the world. So now the bridges are going to be okay again for Zugman. But yeah, unfortunate there. And we see a runaway too. Oh no. That Starbro is now off screen, and Zugman's going to hope that they come back.
You see, that's the one thing too, though. Like, you might not always want to take that death right away in World 3, even if you have to reset the bridges. Because if he had gotten that hammer and then still had this runaway, everything actually would have been just fine with the death he had already taken.
Yeah, general consensus is just to try and take that death if you need to as late as possible, because you really don't know what those bros are going to do. So the call making his way through 3-9 does not get the H jump, unfortunately, but gets through the H pretty quickly. Yeah, you want to pick up this hammer for sure. The time loss you would get from not grabbing that extra hammer much greater than just taking an extra death here. But yeah, Zugman's going to have to take a death unless he gets lucky and this hammer bro meanders his way back over. It's pretty uncommon for the hammer bro to make their way back over. Usually once he's gone, he's gone.
So I've been grabbing that fire just in case. Call, we should start talking about this at some point, is on Wendy's airship. Wendy, probably the most annoying Koopaling because of those rings flying around the arena. That said, if you have fire, Wendy's actually pretty easy to get a fire kill on. So, just looking to see Call maintain fire through this airship. Zugman is going to play 3-6.
Yeah, looks like it. That will preserve a cloud, but as you can see, 3-6 is an auto-scroller, so not a stage you really want to have in your Warpless run. Perhaps just really wanting to preserve this fire as well. As you mentioned, Wendy's a pretty tricky jump kill.
Not only that, but preserving fire to kill Boss Bass in 3-8.
Yeah, so this could be just be a safety here, not wanting to take the extra death. And also, I think that Hammer Bro is in between 3-8 and 3-9. So that could have potentially walked back, and then Zugman would have to take another death. So it's kind of a darned if you do, darned if you don't situation here, which is one of the many joys of the Warpless category in luck. But looks like Zugman's almost to the end here of 3-6.
Call, I think, grab that wand around 1704.
So pretty solid start for the call so far. Yeah, it looks like Zugman's going to cross over the bridge, move into 3-8. This is kind of a scary stage, as you got the rising and falling platforms and Boss Bass trying to eat you the whole time. But if you keep your wits about you, it's usually one you can get through nicely, and looks like Zugman's going to be out.
Call with a pretty standard sort of just make your way through 4-1 with relative speed, not going for the P-speed strat.
Yeah, there's a couple of difficult P-speed builds in 4-1, so it's not uncommon to see people miss that one and just kind of have to take that casual stroll. And looks like Zugman debating using an item there. Oh, I think Zugman was checking to make sure that he had the hammer.
Ah.
Made sure he fought the hammer bro, and that was the star bro left over. So quick check, made sure he had it. Nice little H jump there, and he'll be out 3-9 now.
Nice 4-2 from the call as well. Another one of those kind of rising and falling water levels.
So now moving into 4-3, I think the 4-3, definitely a top contender for a lot of people's favorite stage in the game. It's a lot of fun, looks really cool when it's done right, and there's a lot of different challenges with the P-speed mechanic and different jumps and stuff like that. You see a couple of crouch jumps there with bounces. It's a really fun stage to pull off. Always feels good.
The next last jump just looks terrifying.
Yeah, this super scary jump at the end. Like everything about 4-3 just really lines up super well to make it a really fun stage to go through. So now the call using that first hammer to skip over 4 F1. Pretty long stage, as well as being a pretty difficult stage, so it's nice that we can use a hammer there. Picks up a cloud from that hammer bro. from the call. Getting that Lakitu bounce. Very nice.
Ooh, losing fire, but getting another Lakitu bounce for it. We might end up seeing that second Lakitu. There it is.
Ooh, yeah. It's a lot of Lakitu and RNG. Okay, that was a really scary way to go about getting through those spinies, but it worked out. So
that was horrifying.
Yeah, 4-4 is a stage that like you just don't know what's gonna happen. If you do it the right way, it'll go the same. But like as soon as something goes wrong, everything's terrifying. So the call gonna use
doesn't want to fight the sledge.
As Zugman wraps up a fire kill on Windy there.
21 grab. So about 3 minutes.
Still about a 2 minute. Or yeah, 3 minutes. Yeah, 3 minute lead here for the call.
So am I wrong, Glib, or is it it's faster to stomp the sledge bros, right? Than to shoot a fireball at them?
I want to say it's overall faster because the music box, or the box with the item spawns quicker. You can get to it quicker. I'm not sure which one actually kills the bro
I think the
first.
fire kills it faster, but because it pops up in the air to fall off the screen. And I think that's what you're saying. The chest will spawn faster if you stomp it than if you fire kill it.
Yeah, but then you'd have to run back to the other side. Whereas with the fireball, you can stand on the one side, shoot the fireball, start running, and grab the box right away. I'm actually not sure if the fireball travels.
It might just be negligible.
I guess technically, I think it's probably pretty negligible. But I think Mario does travel faster than the fireball technically. So you're probably right there.
Call I saw him throw that fireball out at the first sledge. Let's see what he does here. Ah, that's a good Sledge Brother kill. I wasn't sure if he was not wanting to fight the Sledge Brothers without firepower.
Yeah, I guess to talk about that really quick, there is, at the end of World 4, there's a star and a P-Wing, and at the beginning of World 5, there's the same kind of setup. There's a star and a P-Wing, and generally, most runners will want, out of those 4 bros, 1 P-Wing. So you'll see oftentimes runners either fighting 1 bro in World 4, or using a music box there and trying to get the one in World 5. Looks like the call was trying to music box the bros in World 4, gets an unfortunate movement, and the bro kind of walked back up. But did at least get a P-Wing out of it. But it's going to look like the call will just have to kind of fight at least 1 bro here at the bottom of World 5.
Zugman with a nice 4-3 so far.
Yeah, very nice 4-3 there.
Nice. Zugman actually no. They both had a lot of trouble in World 3, honestly.
Yeah, World 3 was definitely been a big cause of concern for both runners. Zugman having a little bit more trouble than the call. And also deciding to play a stage instead of using a cloud to cloud over it. So Zugman, this lead is a little bit smaller than it actually looks. Zugman does have an extra cloud that he can use at some point to skip over a stage that the call is going to have to play. And depending on what stage that is, that could be a big swing. There's some really difficult stages later on in this game that Zugman could skip over that maybe the call has some trouble with. But as it stands, the call with a pretty strong lead so far, moving towards the end of World 4.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see that cloud get used until either the end of World 7 or 8 Fortress.
Yeah. Either one of those stages is a pretty good candidate. Looks like Zugman actually has a chance to get music boxless, meaning he could skip over both the bros in World 4 without even having to use that music box. Unfortunately, he does have the music box from World 2, so it wouldn't save him as much time as it normally would. But it's a nice little time save if you do get it, but it's completely luck-based. You see a 24-minute flat 1 grab for the call. The end of World 4 has a tail. Interesting to see what he's going to do with it here. And yeah, Zugman needs 1 more good movement to get this boxless.
Call did not have fire on that airship, just kind of grabbed the leaf. It's a potential damage boost there.
Yeah, I think just for safety, Iggy a lot of times has kind of the cheap thing where he can jump up into the air really fast, and the game doesn't actually take the time to realize, oh, Mario's actually stomping on Iggy's head right now, and you just kind of fall through them and get hit. So I'm guessing the call picked up that tail just as a safety in case something like that would happen against Iggy. Loses it there, but I don't think that's a big mistake. Yeah. And pick up the star for safety here at the end of 4-1. Looks like Zugman does pick up the P-Wing. That actually worked out pretty well for Zugman. He can use that music box at the beginning of World 5 and not have to fight either of those bros if he doesn't want to.
So they both only got a P-Wing out of World 4. Not bad.
Yeah.
All right. Don't fall in the pits, call.
Taking it extra careful there. Does not want to fall into the pit of despair. This top section, not only faster, but a lot easier to move through. So getting up top here as opposed to having to fall all the way down and go through that tricky bottom part of 5-2, very important.
Zugman starts going through the longest level in the game.
Kev, you want to talk about coin chips? We haven't talked about coin chips yet.
We haven't talked about coin chips. For those who, I guess the Wizard said it too. I actually still need to watch that movie one day. But coin chips will appear if you have kind of the normal Hammer Brothers in a world, not the boomerang, not the sledge, and you finish a thing, be it a stage, fortress, or one of those pipe transitions too, with your coin total being a multiple of 11, so the numbers have to match, and the tens digit of your score matching that factor with 11 there. So if you have 88 coins and 80 points, you have a problem. The coin ship itself, one of the Hammer Brothers will become a coin ship, and casually it's really nice because it's got like 168 or something like that coins and a 1-up. But it's an auto-scrolling level that just takes forever. You don't want to see it. So players are going to be keeping an eye on that coin count, keeping an eye on how many bricks they have, because bricks are worth 10 points, and each second at the end of a stage is worth 50. It's kind of your last resort to flip that digit if you have to. Call having a nice ground fortress as well a little while ago, and now trying to keep P-Speed through the tower level here. Not the easiest thing in the world to do, but like we were saying earlier, every minute you have P-Speed inside a stage, you're saving a lot of time.
Yeah, tower, one of the more difficult stages, because you're going through a lot of pipes, so you have to kind of manage re-getting your P-Speed basically after every pipe. But not too bad of a tower there for the call. We see Zugman wrapping up with a 27-18 1 grab on World 4. So this is actually going to be really interesting to see how Zugman routes this. He doesn't need basically any of the Hammer Bros here. He got the music box in World 2, so he could skip that one if he gets lucky. He has that music box that he didn't have to use in World 4 and has the P-Wing, so he could technically skip all of the Bros here in this stage and actually make up quite a bit of time just from that alone. I'm not sure if he takes any extra safety Hammer Bros or anything like that, so it'll be interesting to see what he decides to do.
You saw a call late in the tower kind of make sure he got past 88 coins, but it's worth noting the sky stages have Lakitus at the end, and, well, it's not going to happen anymore, probably? Are there more coins in this stage, Glib?
No. So the call's going to have to be careful
Don't
here.
end on an odd number.
Yeah,
don't end on an odd number. I think he noticed.
Oh, no.
He did not.
He did not notice. Does he have a bro that's on the bottom?
Are there Hammer Bros on the ground?
If there's a Hammer Bro on the ground, that'll turn that one. No, it turned there.
There it is.
He needs that music box. So he's probably going to have to take just a death here on the coin ship, and then continue on from there.
That's what I was saying earlier. Each second is worth 50 points. So if you have 99 coins and 40 points, you've got to keep an eye on the clock when you get to the end of a level.
Yeah, Zugman rolling with 88 coins, but his score is 90, so doesn't have to completely worry about that right now.
And call pausing there on the map, kind of
just contemplating,
accepting his fate.
There's nothing you can do about these. You can't use a music box to put him to sleep or anything like that. And this bro has a music box, which will help him skip a stage in World 7. So yeah, trying to get squished here on the left and just suicide. Doesn't quite get the earliest squish, but can get one in a second here.
Oh, get the coins!
Or is he just gonna play through the stage?
I mean, once you're on the coin chip, you do have to get the coins.
Yeah. It looks like foregoing the suicide and just going to beat the actual stage itself.
He does want to kind of keep his coin count around here. Doesn't get the hidden one up lock. It's important to not leave World 5 in a coin ship scenario, because the first thing you're going to do in World 6 is go through a pipe transition, and as soon as you come out the other side, usually that first hammer bro that has a hammer will turn into a coin ship on you.
Yeah, I've seen that happen with a lot of new runners where you leave World 5 and don't think, oh wait, I have to go through a pipe first, so this will trigger that coin ship. It won't happen when you first enter a world, but going into that pipe, like you said, and coming back out, that the game will do that check then and say, oh hey, look, you won a coin ship, congratulations.
Zugman here has 94 coins and 90 points, so that's going to be something to keep an eye on. Could have kicked that Koopa shell to the left to break a brick to make that 90 an even 100.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of coins kind of in a row in 5-5 that everybody will pick up, so that should get him past. Oh, goes for the Koopa bounce in 5-4. That saves frames, like mere frames, but can lose you a lot, as if you don't make that jump quite right, you fall into the open pit and die. So some swag there from Zugman going for that. Oh yeah, it looks really cool. Clouding over the worst stage in the game, 5-9.
That's not 7-4.
Hey, we took a poll, very scientific poll.
Very scientific, rigged poll.
Asked everybody what was the worst stage in the game, and everybody unanimously voted 5-9.
I saw some people didn't vote in protest, sir.
Well, some people abstained because they just knew what the outcome already was. They're like, yeah, it's fine.
Wow.
Like everybody knows. I can show you the pie chart that has 100% 5-9 worst stage in the game.
Zugman getting the 5-7 Fire Flower. Cole working his way through this airship, taking the early damage, but getting the fire back, no problem.
Yeah, taking damage before Roy is not a big deal. You can get that fire back really easily.
Roy, of course, one of the two Koopalings in this game that can shake the ground when they land from a jump. So very easy for Mario to get stun locked if you make one, wrong move in that fight.
Yeah, and we see on the Zugman screen that he had a chance to potentially skip that music box, but walk down in between 5-9 and Roy's, and that's kind of where he'll stay for the rest of the world. So a slight bit of bad luck. Zugman won't be able to save that extra time from skipping that music box, but we'll still save some time just on Hammer Bros alone due to the bottom side of the section, and also going to be saving a big chunk of time from not having to play a coin ship. But we see a 32-35 wand grab for Call. But yeah, Zugman's really closing this gap here in World 5. Been a lot of things that have been working out better for him.
So the one thing I would say at this point, we don't want to see that music box get used. I think especially now, if he used that music box, the holding Hammer Bro in World 6 would still be asleep when he gets there. And you don't want to use that hammer, skip 6-1, 6-2, 6-3, and then have that one run away on you after the fortress and have to play 6-7.
Yeah, not to mention, you also do need that music box in order to put the plant asleep in World 7. So you need one. So Zugman's gonna have an extra one.
Does he have 3 music boxes now?
He has 2. Actually, no, he does have 3 because he got boxless as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got 3. Could potentially use one in World 6 depending on the luck, but yeah, otherwise his music box is not going to be doing a lot for him, unfortunately.
You gotta use it before Bowser for fun, except for that inevitable you'll accidentally use the whistle instead.
Yeah. So, as you mentioned, the Call skipping over the first 3 stages is World 6 by using a hammer. Gets another hammer that he'll use later on here in World 6 to skip an auto-scroller, and is on to 6F1.
Call grabbing that star. He's not taking that damage by accident.
Hi, Boom Boom.
Bye, Boom Boom.
So using the star there does a whole lot of damage to Boom Boom all at once. Actually kills him so fast that the game gets slightly... The game doesn't do what it thinks it should do and spawns an invisible orb. You can actually do that with hammers as well, but that's a little trickier. Boom Boom HP is a really thing in this game. I don't understand why it exists the way it does, but it does.
Call having a little bit of fun here.
I don't know if I would call that fun.
Oh,
That looks
jeez.
terrifying. Gets through 6-4 though. That stage, if those spinners decide to, and you don't have P speed, sometimes they can just kind of knock you the wrong way, and suddenly you are on the ground, and there is no ground, so you're dead.
Zugman having a little bit of an adventure with Roy there.
Yeah, it looks like he jumped maybe a little too early. Did lose his fire, but that's not the biggest cause for concern. As Bikal gets a nice little despawn there in 6-5. 6-5, a stage that the game requires you to fly in order to beat. So here's kind of where we start using our items. So we use a P-Wing in this stage as it allows us to fly indefinitely. And actually does a little bit of a despawn maneuvering there to make sure that one of those nippers up top despawns. It's a little faster than taking the shell up there.
I wasn't paying attention. That is the cloud.
Yeah, the cloud will. So here's another instance of that using the way direction, or using the direction bros face when they're done walking. The cloud in World 6 faces to the left. The star will face to the right. So you want to be looking to get that bro that's facing left once they're done moving. It looks like the call making their way through 6F2 pretty nicely there. Some precise flights there. Probably going to take a hit on Boom Boom here, or maybe doing the early hit in 6-8. We see Zugman grabbing the tail in that box and using it to get those damage boosts across the spikes. So good recovery there. Doesn't get the star and decides he didn't get it with that initial jump, and I think just didn't want to have to deal with those atomic waffles. It's very kind of like once your timing is off in that little section, it's pretty easy to take a death. So just taking the safe route, getting the jump kill, and boom boom, moving on. Not a bad call.
At that point, I'm surprised no mushroom either. It's flowers.
Triple flower hype. Let's go. I guess we haven't. You want to talk about the card game, Cav? I know you're a fan of it. You see the call flying over 6-9, nice and easy there.
Oh my.
Zugman having even more bad luck with these bros. He has to fight this bro, he's in the way, and unfortunately it is that extra star. So just having a really... Bro's not treating Zugman very well this run. Decides to just use that star for the cloud fight. Good idea there. He gets another low spawn, he can just run straight through it as opposed to having to worry about it. So the call wraps up 6F3. Moving on to Lemmy's airship. Meanwhile, Zugman flying through 6-5. Looks like that's a pretty good setup for your despawn. Does get the despawn on the right. Very nice. Sometimes you can get both of those nippers to despawn, but as long as you get
he's gonna break that brick though.
Yeah, he's okay.
I was scared for a moment.
It is always a little terrifying when you see that multiple of 11, just to make sure everything's okay.
Not just the multiple, but the 20 points.
Yeah. We see Zugman taking a slight little detour here to pick up this Hammer Brothers suit. It is a little slower to do this, but does make the Bowser fight at the very end of the game pretty quick and a little bit safer. So just a little safety strat. A lot of runners will do that, especially at that kind of 56, 57 level. So
yeah, I would go so far as to say it makes the Bowser fight just straight up trivial, unlike 6-4-2.
Doesn't quite get the speed, does fall down. So gonna have to go in here now without that tail.
Yeah, Zugman started just kind of running while he still had P-speed from the first flight. That P-speed reset that we talked about a long time ago now just never really happened there, so he had to start building P-speed from scratch.
You see the call picking up the tail on Lemmy's. Takes that hit right away, but that's not the worst thing in the world. As long as he leaves this stage big, that's really what you want to do with Lemmy. Getting some nice Lemmy shakes there to bless the run.
Nice. How many jumps for the clip?
I'm gonna say 4. We'll go with 4. So Zugman wrapping up 6F2, the call wrapping up World 6 as a whole. Moving on to 7-1, which is a stage that we don't really like, so we're just going to kind of skip past it.
I'm going to go with 3 jumps.
That we're treating. 3 jumps?
3 jumps.
All right. You got somebody in the chat believing in the macaroni and cheese. Oh, Whoa! It is the macaroni and cheese. First try clip. Very nice. So that jump is actually sub-pixel dependent, meaning that the game updates Mario's position, not in terms of just directly a single pixel or not, but in kind of fractions of pixels, and you need to have basically a decent fraction of pixels in order to get into that. So getting first try is a mix of skill and luck, so very nicely done by the call.
7-2 stage, you want to use some P-speed here, so you have to build it up with that star early on.
Yeah, very nicely there from the call to get through 7-2. Well, Zugman with a really solid 6F3 there. Oh, sure. We did talk about that, and then we stopped. So basically, at the end of every stage, you'll see the call just hitting stage. It gets a star cloud there, or gets a star card there. Normally, in every stage, if you're running at P speed, when you hit that block, you'll normally get a star. So you'll see most runners taking a little bit of a turn back at some point to kind of avoid getting that, because getting 3 of the same kind, as we saw from the call earlier, kind of triggers that little fanfare. You get extra lives, and it just kind of wastes a bit of time. So getting triple star can happen fairly commonly, but a triple flower or a triple mushroom is a little more rare, especially for a speedrunner. So seeing that triple flower from the call was a bit of a surprise, something that he couldn't have really done much to absolutely avoid.
Triple flower, I feel like, is the rarest one, because the mushrooms are the most common thing you see with the little turn back to try and not get 3 stars.
Yeah.
Flowers, I don't know how you get that.
Yeah, if you do the turn back just right, I think you'll get a mushroom. And yeah, sometimes you can get a flower. You can sometimes get a flower just by running at P speed. I forget exactly why that happened, but there's something that happens to cause you to get a flower on that first card.
I'm gonna blame sub-pixels.
It could be. I don't know. Everything in this game is sub-pixels anymore. We see the call going for a starless 7-8. I like it.
Using that tail to boost.
Takes the damage, but is able to get out of 7-8. Very nicely done there, as Zugman wraps up World 6.
I'm still scared of the end of that stage. Just that middle section is so awkward.
Yeah, that middle section, I still do the star in 7-8 strat, because I've in practice died too many times at the end of 7-8 to really find it worth it. I'll just take that little time loss.
We're going for clips.
So these clips are actually not sub-pixel dependent. If you have P speed, you just have to hit the right spot in order to get the clips. So doing 7-9 clips is a strategy we've seen a lot of people employ, as you do have 1 more cloud in your inventory. As we see Zugman getting a second try clip, I think.
Oh, I missed it, but that's pretty quick.
There's clips everywhere. There's clips everywhere right now. So you have 1 more cloud basically in your inventory, which you can skip 7-9, 7F2, or 8-4 is kind of one of the 3 stages people will skip. So 7F2 is a little faster than 7-9, but it's a lot riskier, because if you die in 7F2, you go back, have to play 7-9, and then play 7F2 again. So the kind of more safe strat here is to, what we saw the call do, just clip down through 7-9, and then cloud over 7F2. So this might be where we see Zugman using both clouds here. I would say it would either be to skip both 7-9 and 7F2, or perhaps to skip over 8-1. Interested
8-1
to
or
see
8 Fortress?
I would probably say 8-1. That seems to be the one people go to a lot of the times. It's a very tricky stage. 8 Fortress is the longer of them, but does have that... Well, he has the hammer suit. Oh, this is interesting. So normally people will play 8F because it has that Fire Flower, which you'll need for the Bowser kill. But Zugman has a hammer suit, so he might skip over 8F. Yeah, you could be right. Yeah, you can cloud over anything that isn't a Hammer Brother or one of those plant stages. You can cloud over nice and easy. So yeah, we should see Zugman pick up some time just due to still having that cloud left over from World 3.
A little bit of time, but this lead, he needs a little more help than just one stage.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll see if World 8 can give him a hand.
Nice. I like it. I like where your head's at. It's great. It's well planned. You just executed beautifully there.
This end of World 7's airship is a little easier than it looks. They put all these bolt lifts here, but the ones on these like sort of singleton logs you don't really need to use. It's the ones at the end that are a little tricky. Only thing really terrorizing about all this is that this actually is the longest stage in the game, unlike the World 4 airship. Even though it scrolls as fast as... World 4 scrolls slower, this one scrolls normally. It's just long. Yeah, this stage is just twice as long as that World 4 airship, a little more than twice as long, so this ends up, even though World 4 scrolls half as fast, the stage does end up being the longest stage in the game. Ludwig, like Roy, don't want to get stun locked. The call jumped a little early there, took the hit. As you see, Zugman also going... Oh, Zugman takes the death in 7-8. Does he go 7-7? Decides to cloud over it. Okay. Using that cloud just to skip over 7-8, go straight to 7-9. 7-8 is a really annoying level. I'm not going to complain about that. Takes the death in 7-9. He's going to have to go back. No! Now choosing to go to 7-7 here. Oh, unfortunate Goomba there. See how comfortable Zugman is with 7-7 here. Really race. We've all been there. Yeah. Looks like Zugman knows what he's doing here in 7-7 though, so... Yep, does grab that third star and he'll be out of here okay. But yeah, unfortunate there. He's taking that death. Wasting that cloud, unfortunately. That's one of those things that you never want to die after using a cloud in Warpless. Just loses you so much time. Call working the tank here, not really using any of these bombs to knock each other out without causing explosions, which can do a little bit of lag reduction work here. Yeah, there's really only one spot where you can see a fair amount of lag, and it's usually pretty easy to clear out some enemies to avoid it, but overall not too much to do on any auto-scroller, just kind of make your way through it, don't fall asleep, basically. Oh, we have a fun little game cap. Do you want to play it? We do, yeah. So I'm going to ask you to set it up, but... I will. So there are hand stages in this game, in the middle section of World 8. Each of them has a 50-50 chance of grabbing a runner. So since we like to bet on people's misfortune, we're going to start a little game. And as soon as I type this in here, so now you can guess on how many hands total both of our players will get. So there are 3 different spots they could get grabbed. So the theoretical max would be 6, but it's anywhere from usually 0 to 6. You'll see our runners get. If the runners get grabbed by a hand and then die, and then get grabbed again, that hand will count twice. So they could technically get 4 7 or 8 hands. Yeah. So you could see a lot. But generally between 0 and 6 is what we're going to end up seeing here. Is the call going to go for this Fire Flower grab? Normally a no wrong warp any percent strat. Like that Fire Flower and that question mark block technically can be gotten. It's really hard to get to that flower in the first place, get it at all, and then to get out of there without getting hit. Call not even trying, but Now, also getting hit, losing big.
Yeah. This is going to get a little scary. Nothing like too crazy, but a lot of times you have fire in this spot, so you just use fire to like take out these rocky wrenches or whatever. So could be a little bit outside of his comfort zone right now. Just got to make sure he stays careful.
What's that?
Also, I do want to note, Zugman still does have a Cloud in his inventory, decided to play both 7-9 and 7F2. So looking like he probably will end up using that to skip. I would say whichever one he's least comfortable with in terms of 8F or 8-1 or 8F. 8F would be the faster one, but 8-1, I see a lot of people Cloud 8-1 just because it's a very difficult stage, very easy to die on, so we'll see what happens here.
Well, the one thing from there to ask ourselves, does he remember he has the Cloud? He might have forgotten.
Yeah, like you said, it was kind of an unusual circumstance to have that Cloud in the first place. But I mean, he's been looking at his inventory pretty frequently here throughout World 7. I would guess he would have at least noticed and said, "Oh, hey, I have a Cloud going on here. What's the deal?" Especially after clouding 7-8, I think that was kind of his quote-unquote extra Cloud usage.
Okay, so here we go.
We see
he's going in.
The call entered.
Oh!
Entered the third hand.
Does that count as a hand?
I'm counting it. If you go into the hand, that counts. So deciding to enter it just to basically power back up, probably not a bad call here.
Well, not just powering up, but if you die on the Air Force, you go back to the last stage you completed, which could be the pipe all the way at the beginning of this section. By entering that hand, this is effectively a checkpoint.
Yeah, basically doesn't have to go back through the hands and try to get lucky again. If he does die on this airship, and this airship moves twice as fast as any normal auto-scroller, and there's rocky wrenches all around trying to mess up your day. So this is a very difficult stage. So I think that's a good call. I really like that play from the call there.
It's a good call for a race, especially if he kind of knows what the situation is.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to like die halfway through the Air Force and then have to get all three hands after that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can actually
this wand here.
You can enter the hands on purpose, just pressing A over them like any other stage. So it's actually in any category that goes over the hands, even 100%. It's faster to not get grabbed, as the hand animation takes a little bit of time versus just entering the stage straight up. Yeah, really good race strat there.
Plus, he has that extra leaf in reserve now, just in case he wants to maybe use it in 8-1 even.
I guess what's the wording in the exclamation point start? Let me look here.
That's gonna be a good question.
How many hands the player will get? I guess we technically didn't see the hand. I don't know. This is tough. We might have to bring this one up.
I'm leaning towards no hand. That was not an RNG entry. Call making his way through 8-1 without too much hassle.
What do the people in the chat think? Maybe we can vote democratically. That's not even close to a word.
Democratoriously?
Democratically? There we go.
There's the word. That's a word.
There's the word I was looking for. It says how many hands. I didn't see any hands, so I'm gonna say no.
I saw no hand.
We got a lot of people saying 0. So okay, I think that's a good idea. I think
the sun is trolling.
So that tail that the call picked up in that third hand gonna pay off here. Gonna be able to use that and grab a fire flower right at the beginning of 8F.
Oh,
yeah, it's
okay.
true. Yeah, it's a count of
got
misfortune. Did it? Yeah, I think so. Okay, I think we're going to count that as 0 hands.
That's a legitimate strategy to enter that third hand. Zugman having a little trouble here.
Okay, it does get up. That would have been. I think the auto scroller stops, but that would have been kind of scary. But
yeah, it does stop.
Oh, the call taking a hit here. Unfortunately,
let's see.
Probably want to bail out of this.
You want to get this coin.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the way to do it. Hit this P-switch, then go in the door.
Yeah, so you can actually get through that with just one P-switch.
Going for a mushroom.
Yeah, Zugman picking up that mushroom a lot easier than having to grab a fire flower there.
The escape.
But yeah, so to kind of talk about what we were getting all worried about there, this is the last spot in the game to have a Fire Flower, and having a Fire Flower for the Bowser kills takes quite a bit of time. You can normally get through 8F with only that one P-switch, but after taking that hit, it's definitely the smarter option to kind of bail out on the one P-switch and grab that Fire Flower so you can have it for the rest of the game.
So Super Tank here is kind of interesting and unusual amongst auto-scrollers because one of the safer spots on it is actually the very front.
Yeah, you can actually just hold right, spam that B button if you have Fire Flower, and jump anytime it looks like you gotta jump, and you'll actually be just fine. You don't have to do really anything else. Whoa, Zugman, I think had maybe a dropped input there. Gets out of it alive at least.
Call is using the world famous I can't talk today. World famous patented Oglib Super Tank Strat TM right there. Not quite executing it perfectly. But first bomb was still on the screen, but still doing a pretty good job of mimicking it. Yeah,
that's the one spot that's maybe a little quote unquote tricky is you have to kick those bombs right away so they get off screen and despawn. As we see, so Zugman did get grabbed, so that is one hand there.
There's one hand. We gotta make sure he clears it. Doesn't stop for the power-up. A little curious about that.
Just decides to blaze on through, so that is one hand for all of our runners. Let me look at what the command is here. As we see the call entering into Bowser's Castle.
I guess that's true. He has the leaf from the hand he can immediately use. Doesn't get the one-up, does get the everyman clip.
Oh wait, I typed in the wrong thing.
There you go. We'll sort that out later on. Call making his way through Bowser's Castle, setting up for a fire kill here. Was it 35 fireballs? You want to stand there and trick Bowser into kind of landing on the first tile above the door, giving Mario just enough space to kind of, you know, shimmy up against the wall, not get hit by Bowser, land the rest of the fireballs. Listen to a fanfare. Find out his princess is in another castle. RaceBot reporting a 57-28 from the call. Well done. GG for the call. Zugman gonna use this tail early in 8-1. Not sure if that damage was intentional or not, but those piranha plants, if you try to get through them without getting hit at all, that can be really slow and annoying. Using that upper bullet bill, nice.
Yeah, nice little strats there to get through 8-1.
Now just having that wall of bullets. I think he wanted to keep using his bill strat, but realized it wasn't going to work out. The call not having the proper world names on this cart. I don't know what Waterland is.
Nice damage boost strat there from Zugman to make his way through 8-2 very nicely. So I'm interested to see what he does here. He has that cloud, he has a hammer suit. Yeah, and does decide just to cloud over 8F. So good idea there. That is the longest stage in World 8, so if you are going to cloud any of them, that's good. Especially, as we mentioned, with that hammer suit, you won't have to really worry about having a fire flower, so...
So Zugman here without fire, this level can be a little scary. That first section, though, I think is really the worst of it.
Yeah, there's two spots where if you don't have any sort of power-ups, it gets a little crazy. These rocky wrenches, as you can see, really not too bad to worry about as long as you're just kind of paying attention and getting ready for them.
Yeah, so even without fire, the rocky wrenches, you have to pay a little bit of attention as you jump over them, but you can still hug the right edge of the screen and mostly be fine. Mashing B, you'll just kick those bombs off screen so they despawn. So he wants to probably look out here just a little bit.
Yeah, just waits for that. Oh!
Oh, no!
Hugs the rocky wrench. Oh, no. It was right at
rocky
the end,
wrenches
too.
need a hug now and again. So I think we might be getting call in here pretty soon. So Zugman keeps attacking the tank. It's a little unfortunate the strat doesn't work with a hammer suit. You could just maybe just use it right here. But those hammers will just arc right over the top of the Rockies.
Yeah, you won't make it through the rocky wrench section, unfortunately. I think we are joined by the call.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, well, congratulations on the win.
Yeah, glad it's over. Man, this game on races is nerve-wracking as hell, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the autoscrollers are not fun. I mean, in particular, the 7-tire ship is not fun. It's definitely not fun. I think this is gonna be very soon, my least favorite level. Not because it's hard, but I don't know, there are some jumps that are not certainly risky because you have to land on these rotating platforms, and sometimes the inputs I don't know what happens, and if you miss the input there, you go down.
Yeah, a lot of scary moments in this game. So talk about your run. What do you think went well? What do you think did not go so well?
I don't know what happened in 3-2 because I also missed the P-speed. The P-speed strat, I usually opt for a safe strat, but actually I go in the water, I kill all the chips in front of me, then I wait for the chips behind me to reach me so that they can jump on it. But I don't know what happened when I tried to. Actually, Mario start go down, and I don't know, the A wasn't working, and in the end I hope he heard the death music. God, what happened, man? It's stupid. And then okay, whatever. That happened, and then I had to probably I didn't play because I mean I knew I would have need to took another death to have the bridge down. Probably I could have tried to skip the armor brother, but the point is I didn't really want to deviate too much because I mean I really wanted that star, and so you know what, probably it's safer just to take a death or whenever it's fast to do it, and from there just playing normally so that I know that the bridge is down, and then I got the coin ship.
Yeah. We see Zugman with a nice, easy hammer kill there. Finishes up with a 102.42 on the splits. RaceBot has him at a 102.43. So GG's to Zugman.
Hey, GG. Man, that coin ship is my fault. I mean, I noticed that, this is fun because I noticed that I actually had the setup for the coin ship. So I wasn't really sure what to do there. I would have probably doomed in any case. But then I could have tried to get an even timer so that or an odds, try to manipulate a bit. But then I remember that someone said me, oh, if you kill the first, I mean, probably I remember it badly, but someone said me, if you kill one of the Emerald with the P-wing, whenever the coin ship is gonna appear, it's gonna appear in the ground section. But okay, let's trust this, and unfortunately probably misunderstood that, and yeah, that was a coin ship for me, yeah, and I had to do it. And luckily I tried to kill me, but then hopefully I failed because I realized after failing at killing myself that I definitely needed that music box, so that, and then I decided, okay, let's just see where actually my opponent is because I may be behind. But unfortunately, I was still ahead at that point, so that put me on a better mood. Like, okay, that happened. And then actually, the last 3 worlds were okay. I mean, some mistakes here and there, but overall good. Yeah, and that's it. That's my run. I mean, coin ship is my fault. I mean, I should have paid more attention. That's not really RNG. That's not RNG. I mean.
Yeah, it's one of those things when you're in the heat of a race. It can sometimes. We did see you kind of like moving a little bit back and forth in 5-7. Like, what exactly do I do here? It's one of those things that like you just have to kind of make a really quick decision making on what exactly you have to do. It didn't quite work out for you, but I mean, otherwise you executed really, really well. It was a really good race.
I think that the best choice here is to actually give up on the music box and then just doing the Piranha Plant level in War 7 is faster. I mean, if you don't feel it, you just take a star and you do it with a star. With a star, it's super easy. Oh, I had a P. I had also an extra P wing. I could have used that.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, because you had the unfortunate after using the music box in World 4, you still ran into that P wing. But yeah, like you said, there's a lot of different options there. You just kind of have to feel out which one you think you're most comfortable with, which one you want to go with. So.
Then at World 8, I did something really strange, but it was planned. I mean, I decided that if I would have got 0 hands again, basically, I am really lucky with hands lately, and I would have done the fall. I would have still been the 3rd level to have an extra item and to have a safety anchor, especially because I didn't have the Fire Flower. So I decided, you know what, I don't really want to get 0 hands and dying in the Air Force, then having to deal with one out of 8 chance to not getting hands. So I mean, I said that a reasonable midterm was just to the 3rd, to enter into the 3rd end and just beat the level, so that you have an extra power out of a safe anchor. So it would have been risky because a death there would have been dramatic, but I paid attention. But actually, that was not a good choice because I still had an extra P-wing. I could have used that. When I thought about that, I was already in the Air Force. Oh, whatever. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, we were mentioning that was a pretty good idea to just enter into that 3rd hand. But I mean, yeah, with that extra P-wing, maybe you just go that route with it. I mean, did you end up using that Leaf later before you entered?
I used the Leaf
before the Fortress.
Before the Fortress. I mean, yeah, I think it still kind of worked out for you though. I think that's a really interesting thought process as well too. Do you just use that P-wing for the safety, or do you enter the 3rd hand? I don't know. That's another one of those.
Yeah, probably would have been a better choice, or even better, probably using the P-wing before the 3rd hand. I mean, at that point, I mean, sure. I'm not regretting my choice. I mean, the Air Force is always level, so
right.
And then I knew I was decently ahead because for the first time, actually, I never did this. But for the first time, I actually looked at the restream just to see where my opponent was.
Oh, sure.
It's just something I usually do, but this time I don't know why. I decided, you know what, it's probably worth doing it, because just to have an idea, and and that's the race. And then I mean, so it started usual mistakes. Actually, the funny thing is that this is the first time I got the full strat in 4-2. I mean, we did killing the Piranha, keeping the P-speed. That was the first time I actually got that. Okay, and then I don't know. I mean, Reds went. I mean, I'm overall satisfied because all in all, all the mistakes I did, all the troubles I had. 57 is still an okay time. It's not gonna be enough for sure for the next match. And then in the bracket, I'm not even sure if it will be enough. I don't think so, but I have to practice more if I want to have a chance at this tour. I mean, to go as far as possible, and we will see. I mean.
Yeah, looking ahead, looks like you've got Horstad up in your round 3 winners bracket match. So you kind of talking about that. You're just gonna work more practicing consistency. Any specific levels, any specific spots you think you're going to look at before that match?
I don't know. I don't even know if I will have much time to practice. It will depend when we actually are going to schedule a match. Probably doing runs, probably practicing. I don't know. And I mean, I don't really have too much time to practice. We'll see. I mean, but I will try. I mean, I'm probably gonna lose, but you never know.
Yeah, there's a reason we play these races. You never know what can happen during them.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe chokes everything, got 3 hands, and something had to happen to have a chance, I don't know, but as long as there's a slime chance, it's always worth trying. So.
Worsted, I think, might have peaked there with that early round 52.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, maybe that's his best run, and it's just all downhill from here. You don't know.
And hopefully you just got all the jitters out of this race here. You know, just pay, now you learn something about the World 5 coin ship. World 3 goes a little better, and next time, bam, low 54. He has some hands.
Oh,
he got this.
Got him. Just take him out. Take him out right now. Easy peasy.
That would be cool. I mean, SMB probably gonna have his revenge from the SMB tournament. We faced in the SMB tournament and actually won. But
that's
I
right,
think he's gonna get his revenge.
Grudge match.
This time, I don't think I have a chance. I mean, in the SMB tournament, everything was a bit different. I was grinding, he wasn't, so it was a bit weird. At this time, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
It looks like Zugman will be going on to face Gameaholic down in Losers Round 2, so good luck to him there. Let's take a look at our schedule. I know we've got our last Winners Round 2 match scheduled for tonight. That's between Rupert and LK. I don't know. Looks like that is scheduled 9 p.m. Eastern over on Speed Gaming 2. So look out for that one.
Rupert,
in
2D
terms of
Mario Master, LK Mario 1. I know he's great at. Haven't seen his other ones yet.
Yeah, a couple of. I would say maybe Rupert's most known for Mario 1, if any of them. I mean, he's known for being solid at all of them. So a couple of Mario 1 bros showing off their Mario 3 skills. Looking at the rest of the schedule for this, or all the tournaments on the Speed Gaming family of networks, we've got Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze going on right now over at Speed Gaming 2. We've got Celeste over on Speed Gaming 4. And then there's like a billion, thousand, million different races with everything going on tonight. Looks like there's Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, Luigi's Mansion, Super Mario Odyssey, the Super Metroid 80% tournament, way more Celeste. Like that tournament's got a ton of people in it. Mega Man X, there's a Super Mario World randomizer. I think that might be a bit race. Don't quote me on that though. So lots of awesome stuff going on. Oh, and there's Chrono Trigger. Don't want to forget that as well. There's tons of awesome stuff going out throughout the day and throughout the whole weekend. Going into tomorrow, I know we've got a ton of stuff as well. So really awesome stuff. Stay tuned to any one of the billion of Speed Gaming family of networks for some awesome times.
If I can add something, I mean, I'm actually interested in the Rupert LK because actually, if I lose the next one, which is probably gonna happen, I think I'm gonna face the loser of this match, so I'm actually interested in this match because none of those players are gonna be an easy one to face, so it's gonna be tough. I don't really like my position in the bracket. I mean, I have to be
playing
honest.
if you lost the next match, you would be playing the winner of Demon Battler and Rupert LK.
Yeah,
whichever one of them loses that. So yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's
extremely likely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This is I think I mentioned this earlier, but like this whole bracket, like it's so much. We had a tournament a couple years ago, but like this time around, there's so many more good players and solid players in this tournament. Like honestly, any like the top 10 to 12 runners can put up really sick times. So it's a really exciting tournament to watch with all these really awesome players in it. So it's been fun. But I think that is going to do it for us. Want to thank the call for the excellent race and good luck in your future races. I want to thank Mr. Cab55 for joining me on the mic.
I want to thank you for setting things up and also being on the mic.
Oh. And also want to give, again, another big shout out to all the people over on Speed Gaming for all their hard work dealing with crazy scheduling and all that. They've been doing a great job. So make sure you follow all of these Speed Gaming networks. And yeah, that's going to do it for us. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Have a good day, folks.